guys, welcome back. I'm going to be block sanding the pickup truck today, the long bed Chevy. We're going to use 180 grit on a long block, and I actually put it outside today because it's 55 degrees and partly sunny. So you know what? Why have the dust in the shop when it's nice outside? So I have it pushed out or pulled out here. I tried a little spot. I wanted to see what the 180 felt like. Wasn't sure if I was gonna go with 180 or 150, but I think 180 is gonna be okay. You don't really want to go with anything finer than 180 when you're block sanding down a polyester primer, because polyester primer is hard. And if you use like a 320, you're not doing anything other than gliding over the surface, and you're polishing the surface. So if you have a wavy surface like this, your 320 is just going to be following those waves. 180, 150 is going to be cutting through the waves, not gliding over the top surface. So I'm not going to use my vacuum system or anything because I'm going to be outside. So I'm going to be using 180 on my longer block that I have here. My 16-inch block. I'm going to put a new piece of paper on here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about sanding it. Okay, I'm going to wear a mask while doing it, but just for a minute here, I'm not going to wear one. And I'm using a 16-inch block. Now the key is, don't go sanding half of the truck with one piece of sandpaper, because you're trying to save money on sandpaper. The sandpaper is going to get dull on you, so change it frequently. Let's say you do a hood with a piece, and then let's say you get a door and a fender with a piece, and then the other door and fender with a piece, and then a bedside and half of the tailgate. So basically you're going to use, change this about 5 times for the size of this truck. So basically how I do it is I just go on crosses. I don't go straight. I don't go straight one way or straight this way. I go on an angle. And I just lightly apply pressure. I don't go crazy with it. And I keep sanding until the black guide coat is gone. Or if I break through to bare metal, then I stop, because at that point we're going to need more body work in that area. And you can see right here how this is now nice and flat. We have a little bit of black showing through here, so this is clearly still a little bit low right here. This looks good here. We can keep sanding. We haven't broken through or anything like that. So I'm gonna do this for a while. I'll come back and do an update on it. Basically sanding this is really no different than sanding this fantastic glazing filler. Basically, that is a spray form of this. So rather than spreading it on with a Bondo spreader down the whole entire truck, you could spray it on and save yourself a hell of a lot of time and probably money, because these are 20 bucks a tube. And I bet you would probably take 8-10 tubes. It's probably maybe close to the same price, but obviously way easier to spray the whole truck with a spray gun versus spreading it on with a spreader. So I'll come back once I get like the hood done and show you how it's looking. All right, give you an update where I'm at so far. I'm actually a little farther than I thought I'd be. Half of the hood's done, the other half started. This fender is done and the door's done. So far, here's what I found. If you go back on the previous videos, you can see what this hood actually looked like. I think I made a comment. It looked like somebody was dancing on this thing in high heels, because it was so many dings and dents in this hood. We had a real big one right here. This all block sanded out, about 90% good. Got a little bit here, more to sand. This is definitely a low spot there. I need to do some filler work there. Rest of this side of the hood looks extremely good. This is not broke through. That's just to the gray primer with some black paint underneath. It feels good. It was a little bit high. This was a spot that I had done some icing on or Bondo on, and it must have been a little bit high. It blocked out fine. All that's good. We have a high spot right here. This is bare metal. This needs to be tapped down, and I need to do body work in this area here. That's screwed up right there. And I think we are a little bit low right here. We're a little bit low right in that area. So far, in all reality, for blowing through the bodywork as fast as I did, it's looking really good. Now keep in mind, we're still going to be doing a 2K primer over top of this. We're going to probably put 2 to 3 coats of a 2K primer on it. So that's going to finish up anything that I possibly missed. And also it's going to fill in, it's going to go over the Bondo areas, the little spots that I need to do a little bit more filler work to. But all in all, so far, I'm very happy with it. This is why I say it's important to just get your body work done. Get it done fast. Get it close and get it in primer, because that's going to tell you what's high and low. I could have sat on this hood and chased a bunch of these spots that I still felt weird to me, and probably have still been in the same shape as the hood is now without doing all that extra work. Because when you start getting multiple layers or something and you're rubbing your hand on there, or you take a Kleenex or something like that and put that down and then rub, and you feel different variations in it, 9 times out of 10, you're feeling the edge of one material versus the other. The paint that's underneath might be a little bit smoother than the primer that's on top. So that could definitely affect the way things feel. But yeah, this clearly was my fault. That was when I did the Bondo there. Clearly it was a little high, and the block sander found it and sanded it right out. This was a little low right here, but that's not bare metal. That's still primer. There's actually black paint underneath that. Actually what this is I think this is my polyester primer. That I believe is the epoxy primer, and then this is the black paint that's underneath it. And this had a little bit of a dent right here, and now it's gone. You don't feel it anymore. And once I put 2-3 coats more of 2K filler primer on there, that's going to straighten out the rest of it. I'm hoping when I go to do the 2K filler primer that I don't see a lot of yellow when I'm done with it. If I don't see a lot of yellow after I block with the 18 or 16 inch block with the 2K primer, then I'll know I'm in really good shape for paint, because at that point it'll be straight. This is going satin black. It's not going to be shiny black. Am I getting a little carried away with the body work? Yeah, probably. Would you see it in a satin finish? Probably not. But I just try to do everything to the best that I can with the budget I am working with. You got to keep that in mind too. This is not a $3,000 paint job. This is not a $10,000 paint job. It's in between that. And the thing is with it, you have to know your limits. You know what I mean? You can't give somebody a $20,000 paint job for $5,000, let's say. You know what I mean? You can't do that. If they don't want to spend that kind of money for that kind of a paint job. But I still try to get it close to that, because I would rather do something better and spend a little bit more time and maybe an extra couple $100 on materials to come out ahead in the end. As far as I know, in the end, I did a better job than what they paid for. And doing it that way pretty much always ensures you that, somebody's not going to bitch or complain about something, because people do like to bitch and complain, trust me. And I always just try to go a little extra step, because what's one extra day? You know what I mean? If you break it down to just one extra day of work to give it just that bit nicer of a finish, just do it. Just get it over with. Could I knock down that high spot, put a little filler on that low spot and that low spot, and spot primer this with 2K, and then sand this whole thing with 320 and paint it? Absolutely. But why? What's an extra couple hours? By the time it's going to take me an hour and a half to mask it, it's going to take me an hour to spray it, it's going to take me probably 4 hours to block it down. So like I said, it's not even a whole day. And I'm using Summit paints on this to be on the cheaper side material wise, because we don't need to be spending thousands of dollars on paint. So the 2K primer I'm using, he actually gave me the gallon of 2K primer. And I'm actually using his 2K primer, which is made by Speedy Coat. It's a 4-to-1 mix, and that primer is I think it's like 120 some bucks a gallon with hardener, so it's not incredibly expensive, you know what I mean? So one more day of labor, $100 and some of material, which I didn't have to pay for because he supplied it. I supplied the polyester primer, he supplied the 2K primer. Obviously I supplied the body fillers and all that stuff, and then the paint and the clear and stuff like that. But just keep that stuff in mind when you're going this far. Just that little bit push over the top makes a huge difference, guys. So let me sand for a little bit more. I'm not going to get this all block sanded down today. I have other things I have to do in the shop still. I'm trying to cram as much stuff as I can in between today and tomorrow, because I had knee surgery on Thursday and I'm going to be out for a little bit. So if I can get the fender, the door, and maybe the tops of the bed done, I'll be more than happy, because then there's only a little bit of left. And then after my surgery, when I can start doing things again, I can go around, knock out these few spots. I do have to fix the rocker panel still. I need to weld in new rocker panels on both sides. I didn't do that yet, and you're probably like, why the hell would you not put your rocker panels on for your body work? Because I wanted this stuff to start drying, and I knew I was going to be laid up for a few weeks. So I figured, you know, let's get the first heavy primer done. Let's get it blocked down. Let's let it cure really well, and then when I'm up, I can finish off the little bit of body work, do the rockers, put it in 2K primer, let it set for a few days, block it down, and paint this thing, because everything underneath is going to be fully cured at that point. It'll have been sitting for about a month at that time, and a month is a good amount of time to wait. I did a bunch of reading on this polyester primer, and everybody's like, oh, you need to block it the next day, you need to block it the next day. I waited 2 weeks. Is it a little harder? Yeah, but in my opinion, I think it's cured up way better that way. And now I'm breaking it open, and I'm going to put it back in the spray booth, and it's going to sit in there for a week or two while I'm laid up. And the shop is always at a minimum of 60 degrees in here. It's never below 60 degrees. So this thing's going to sit in a warm environment with that polyester cut open, so that's going to help it cure as well. So all right, I'll be back in a little bit and I'll show you how it's looking. One more thing before I get back to sanding. I started doing TikTok, which I've never done it before. I've never been on TikTok. I know nothing about it, but I did start doing it, and I started yesterday, or 2 days ago, and I started yesterday doing quick tips for the day. So every day I'm going to post 2 to 3 quick videos on TikTok on things that I'm doing and how I'm doing them and why I'm doing them and where I'm getting the stuff from and stuff like that. So if anybody's interested in following me on TikTok, I will have the link in my description of my channel. So just go to that. If you wouldn't mind, click on there, go to TikTok. If you're on TikTok, if you wouldn't mind following me, I'd really appreciate it. I will follow you guys back as well. And I'll be back in a little bit here. All right, let's take one more look around the truck before I end this video. I got a lot of it done. We already looked at this side. I'm working on that bed side right now. So this spot of the hood's still screwed up right here. So this has got a little bit of a dent in it. I could feel it in the ridge. This one feels good. That was there before. Front fender looks good. There was a low spot right here, and I just started hitting metal, but I got it out. Couple low spots here I'm gonna have to fill there and there. Bed side's looking pretty good so far. Might have to get a round block in here, but I probably won't round block it until the next primering. Got a little bit of a low spot here, but all in all, I'm very happy with it. I think it's turning out really well. There's not gonna be a ton of body work to do before I primer it one more time. Just have to hit some spots here and there, which I won't be getting to for a week or two probably. But that's it for tonight, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna work on this top half tonight, and I'll probably just call it quits there. And then there's not really too much more to block down, so that when I'm working on it again, I can finish the blocking, get the body work done, get the rockers put on, and then do the final primering, and then it'll be ready for paint. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, just lets you know when there's more videos coming out. So thanks. See you later.